go online trainings. So we have discussed about many topics so far. So today we are going to discuss about the difference between truncate, delete, and drop command. This is normally used when asked in many interviews. So you have to be very clear on what is a delete, what is a truncate, and what is drop commands. Okay, so let us understand that topic first.
Do you want me
So
to
now
explain?
difference between delete and
Hello?
truncate. So when is that you have to use delete?
Hello?
When is that you need to use truncate? So
Hello?
delete and truncate, these two commands are used
Hello?
delete the data from the database or the table. Okay, two commands
Hello?
are used delete the data from the
Yeah, yeah. Hello?
given table. So that is the basic need of these two commands. Whether you use a delete command or whether you use, truncate
Hello?
command, but both of them will be used. Okay, both of them will be used to delete the data from a table. The difference between truncate and delete is
Uh,
delete
Hello?
is it is DML command.
Hello?
A DML command. The truncate is
Hello?
which is a DDL command. Okay, so we need to understand these two commands are used to delete the data from given table. That is the similarity of these two commands, whether delete or truncate.
Right.
The delete command is nothing but a DML command, whereas this command is command. Truncate command is DDL command. Okay. Now is that in DML command or in delete command, you can use to filter the data. For example, if you want to filter something for while deletion, you can do this. Filter the data. But here, since it is a DDL command, here the cannot use where clause. We cannot use where clause. Now here we can use where clause. So that is the another command, another difference we need to understand. You can use where clause to filter the data,
Morning,
but whereas in
everyone.
truncate
Welcome
we
to
cannot use where clause to
our
filter the data
online trainings
based
from
on a DDL command. That is the second thing. The one more thing is that when you do delete operation, this operation is a logged operation. Means we have a logging file, a transaction log file. When you delete a row, what happens is our bunch of rows, all these will be logged first and the delete operation would start. Okay, since this is a delete operation, tomorrow if there is a problem, for example, mistakenly you have deleted some records, back says that yeah, you have done some mistake, please get those deleted records back. If somebody says like that, then you should be able to roll it back. Okay, so delete operation is a logged operation. We can operation. That's what you have to understand. Delete operation is completely logged operation. Logged operation means whatever you're doing, everything will be logged into transaction log file. Okay. Because of the delete operation is a logged operation, hence we can roll back the operation. What about this command? This is non-logged operation. It is non-logged operation. So Okay, you can hence operation, hence we cannot roll it back. The another disadvantage of a truncate command, it is a non-logged operation. Non-logged operation means this logs very minimally, not fully, which logs very minimally. So if you use a truncate command, definitely you cannot roll it back. For example, we have deleted some rows, but if you want to get those rows back, then definitely if you use, truncate commands, which will be very, very, difficulty for you to get those deleted records back, since it is a non-logged operation. Okay. Now, logged operation, this operation, it is, slower operation. It is slow. It is slow operation. Since it is a non-logged operation, it is, it is faster. It is slow to delete the, whereas it is faster to delete the rows. So that is another difference we have to speak about. So delete command is definitely a slower operation, but whereas truncate command is definitely a faster operation for you. Okay. So then one more thing. How do you use the delete command? The delete syntax, definitely you can use it. So how do you do delete operation? The syntax for deletion is, you need to use, you may provide a table there, right? You provide a table name, then you can also use where clause. Okay. Here you need to use some deletion. Now here we are talking about the syntax is, so truncate, here you have to provide truncate table name. This is the command. You cannot use where clause.
Hello.
So that is the another disadvantage of truncate. So if you want to delete all rows,
Hello.
if you want to delete all rows, then only you can go for the truncate. Okay. But if you want to delete a partial
Hello.
rows, then definitely you have to go in for the delete. Okay. So
Yeah,
that
yeah,
is also
hello.
we can write. Okay. When to delete, partial rows, then why? Because delete supports where clause. So when we want to delete partial rows, then use delete command. When you want to, when you want to delete all rows, then use. Okay, but you need to ask one more question. Okay, I want to delete all the rows. Can I use truncate or can I use delete also? Because you can also use delete, because delete will have a where clause. But the problem is, delete is a logged operation. The problem is I have two choices. To delete all the rows, I can go in for delete, I can go in for truncate. But the problem is, if something happens tomorrow, if I need the data back, then that's when truncate command will not support that. So if that is a thing for you, for example, you're deleting a sensitive data, whatever be the case, tomorrow somebody is coming and asking, your team lead or your manager, your boss is coming, hey Bhaskar, you have deleted lots of record yesterday, right? I would like to get those records back. Can you get it back? I'm sorry to say that. So they said like that. So definitely you don't have any clue, but for losing those records in truncate command. But if you use delete commands, definitely you should be able to get those records. So that is the main advantage and disadvantage. So use always truncate command. You don't need the records at all. Okay. already the records you have taken a backup, you have many copies of this already. You're simply deleting. So don't use the delete command, use the truncate command. Even though something happens tomorrow, so you have a copy of it. Or you don't need the records anyhow. If that is the case, definitely you can go in for truncate command. Truncate command is always faster because it is a non-logged operation. Since it is a non-logged operation, anybody can, nobody can, roll back the transactions. What do you mean by roll back the transactions? They cannot get it back once they delete using truncate command. Truncate command, you cannot delete a partial rows support a where clause, it is a DDL command. But whereas delete supports a where clause so that you can delete a partial rows or few rows or all rows also if you want to delete. So that is the difference between a delete and truncate command. Are there any other differences? If you have, please let me know so that we can write them down. One more thing you can understand, okay? I'm creating a table here, say test table. I'm using use 07. I think we have one database, right? So let me go to this database. Do you have few tables? So we don't have any table. So I'm creating a table called test. Okay, open the table, putting employee ID integer, which is primary key, and which is identity column also. Identity, identity column, right? So when you create identity column, what happens is you will have automatically numbers are generated. We have name is varchar, say not null. So you have salary, which is money of we have uh, like this. We have a few data types. Identity column, which is a not null, and here let me put here also we are putting a not null. So F5, I have executed this. So let me insert some data in it. So insert to values. Okay, since the first one is identity column, you need not supply the value because identity means automatically the numbers are generated. The starting number is one. Okay, so this is the meaning of that. Now I'm inserting, say first value I need not insert. I'm inserting Bhaskar here. Salary is say 2000 rupees. So this is what is inserted. Inserted. Now insert Ravi here. Ravi salary is 3000 rupees. I have inserted this. Now let me do select operation. Select star from test. Okay. Bhaskar and Ravi, the 1 and 2 automatically inserted because the starting number is 1, increment is 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 1, 3, like that you should be able to get it. So everything is working fine, there is no issue here. The problem with the identity property, as you know, we have, let me insert some more rows here, Ranga, uh,
Hello.
say Uday we have,
Can you hear me? Hello.
okay, like that we have
Hello.
Ravan. So let me insert some rows like this. Okay. We have the data. And is I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm using a delete command to delete the data. So what I am doing is delete
Yeah.
table called test. Okay, so I'm deleting a single row. What is the row I'm deleting? Delete where EID equals to 2 to 2 or so I'm deleting this record. I've deleted the record. So now if I insert a new row here, for example, again I am inserting Ravi. I am taking from here and I am inserting now. You will not get 2 as now. You will get the next number only, not the 2. Okay. So what is the next number after 5? You got 6 for the Ravi, but you never get true. The identity property will have a gap. What do you mean by gap? If one record is deleted, that number will not be repeated. That's what we discussed already in when we're talking about a truncate. Sorry, when we're talking about identity property. If you delete anything, the same number will not be repeated. Now I'll delete all the records. Where clause I am simply deleting. This is a DML operation I am using. All records will be deleted now. So F5. So what is the last number? Last number is 6. Now we have ready. Okay. Now I am deleting all the data. So 6 rows have been deleted. Now you don't have any data. Now let me insert the data once again. So if I insert data once again, now see the data here. Now you will not get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You will get 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 only because delete operation will not reset the identity value. Even though you delete this again and you do anything here, the operation is deleted completely. But if you insert, this is a blank table. Now if you insert any data, you will get next sequence number, not the this one. Okay, but let me use a truncate operation. Truncate table name is test. That's it. It will not support where clause. Please remember. So since it is not supporting where clause, you cannot delete a single row or partial rows. So truncate table test. So the command completed successfully. Let me see this. Whether you use delete or whether you use truncate, what is available? The structure is available to you. Please remember. Delete or truncate. Now you are able to see the structure: employee ID, employee name, salary. Even they have used delete or even they have used truncate, you can. So the structure will not be removed. You have to be very clear on it. Whether you use truncate, whether you use delete, the truncate, it is both of them will delete the data, not the structure. You have to be very clear on it. Is it very clear, Ravi and everybody? Okay. Now, but I don't have any data because I have used truncate command. Now, let me insert the data here. Let me insert the data, see the data here. Now, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, what do you mean by this? If I use a truncate command, if I use truncate command, the identity property value will be reset. But whereas if I use delete command, the identity property value will not be reset. That is also one more command you need to understand. Okay. The question people asked was, if I use a delete or truncate, what about the structure of a table? Will it be deleted or will it be there? The answer for this, I have just now shown you. Whether you use delete command or whether you use truncate command. Now I can see the table. Now I'll insert some rows here and inserted. I have some data. Now I am using a delete command here. Now let me see select star from a test. Now am I able to see the structure? Yes. So delete command, truncate command, both of them will not remove the structure. These two commands are used to delete the data only. But if I want to delete the table also, then we have to use drop table command. Drop table, then we have to use table name. Okay. Now this is the command we have to use to drop the table. That means If you want to drop the table, what happens? The table will be dropped. At the same time, data is also dropped. Okay. So only drop command will delete the table and the data because the drop is removing the structure also. Now I am using drop table test. Okay. So now entire this one will be removed. You don't have now table. It will give you invalid object name test. Okay. So as you know, if I drop the table automatically, data also goes. But the problem with the drop is if you don't need the table again, the structure you don't need, then use it. But normally if you don't need only the data, that that's when you have to use delete or truncate. Okay. But the drop is, you don't need the structure at all. Forget about the data. You don't need the structure about because when you remove the structure, the data also goes. Okay. So drop is also which command? Drop is also DDL command. It removes the structure also. It is a DDL command. Removes what? Both of them will be removed. Okay. So this is what you need to understand. What is a delete command? What is a truncate command? What is a drop command? Clear? So I have shown you all of them. Now, when you delete the column, delete command never identity value. So it resets the identity column. So you have to remember delete commands and truncate commands are clearly written here. These are used to delete the data from the given table. Okay. So the structure will not be removed. You have to be very clear. Okay. That structure will be deleted. You have to be very clear on this. Clear? So when we're talking about these two commands, only when you want to delete the pure data, then you can go in for delete command or the truncate command. So that's what is the command never resets the identity column value because it is faster and it resets the identity column value. Now, if you have any questions, I'm glad to take that. So I'll give you a few examples also, and this you can use it. I'll upload this file as well. Okay. Any other questions you have, then we can discuss. Anything else? Yeah, how to roll back our data by using a delete command is asking. So that is a separate process, Navin, that you can roll it back. I'll Okay, so normally you cannot roll it back. So definitely there is a separate process you need to follow. The DBS will do the rollback operation. That is not simple operation where I can show you. Okay, it and the cursors in stored clocks. Okay, so we have to talk about cursors. Then definitely we'll go for the stored clocks. Clear?